get right into it. So child welfare helps children by ensuring their safety, helping families successfully care for their children. But according to the endlesshomelessness.org, in a single night in 2020, 34,210 unaccompanied youth were counted as homeless. Out of the 34,210 children, 3,389 were under the age of 18. This is why my objective for this project is focused on getting funding back to child welfare. When it comes to the lack of funding, it leads to high turnover rate, which leads to piled workloads for those remaining. This also means new case management, learning the new case, which slows down the case itself. Preventing children and families meetings, which you see the change within the families and the children, and also being able to talk goals with the family and children. So there are services being provided by child welfare, but when it comes to the lack of staff and high turnover rate, there is lack of available services for the families and children, which is there's lack of learning going on and any success really going on through the classes that are being provided, because there's lack of people showing up because there's barely any classes being available due to people not being able to teach them. Moving on, the current policy that is more well known for today is Affordable Care Act. It also has been changed a lot depending on who's been in office, due to the fact that it does cause the United States to be in debt. But I find that we're going to be in debt, and I find that child welfare is a good reason to be in debt. Now, do I wish that we didn't have to be in debt? Of course. But there are reasons why we are in debt, and I don't fully believe that is a good reason to be in debt. So I think child welfare is a good reason to be in debt and a good thing to put forward with the United States money, due to the fact that youth is our future. To that, I'm going to move on to history within child welfare, starting to 17th century and working our way to the Affordable Care Act. Now, child welfare in the United States, they have committed to protecting children from maltreatment. Policies, laws, starting from the 17th century, have done just that. But in the 17th century, children are more looked as property of their parents, so parents could do whatever they wanted to their children, realistically. The main policy that kind of changed that was in 1974 with the Child Abuse Protection and Treatment Act. This has supported funding, identification, and prosecution and treatment services for child welfare. Then there was the Social Security Act, which provided a framework for the funding for the system, so we could give numbers of how many people the child welfare were actually caring for and helping within the service, and helps the president see how much money they need in the house, like just the whole how the system works. They need numbers to see if it's actually helping and what they're actually doing. Follow with that, it's Title IVA, which it supported and started the foster care and framework of that within the system, and provided money for the families that took in the children. After that, it was part one of two, so IVA and IVB kind of worked together. It changed and tailored the protection and promoted help for children and their safety for their children reunited with their children. This helped funding foster care and adoption assistance for the service. Now, before I get to the more present day, the NMEPA and IEPA were created to advocate for a color-blind approach for child welfare. When it came and involved foster care and adoption, with the color of the child's skin, it would slow down the process of their case, and that the whole act MEPA and IPEA stopped that, where it was equal all the way around for the children to get what they needed and what they
deserve
within the system, and not based off their color of their skin. Now,
lastly,
Medicaid is the funding that comes into play when it's supporting the transportation, charting, case management, and therapeutic and psychiatric services today. Within just those, you can just hear the difference within history of child welfare. It's ridiculous. There is so many policies and laws that have helped child welfare become what it is now, but that was only a few. With hearing all the history that child welfare has gone through, within just the little that I have shared, there is so much more laws and policies that have framed child welfare to be what it is now, but that is just a few big milestones that the system has gone through. My solution is to
have a fixed rate or a fixed policy
where it just doesn't matter who's in office. These children get help. These children get the service that has plenty of money to support them.
I think our youth is
very important to our future in our society and how it is framed. It's like these children need support when they aren't getting it at home, and these families need support in helping get their children back if they really do
have the means to
want their children back. I think money shouldn't be getting in the way of this service and all these services being provided within the system to just
be at a standstill
or be stopped or have limitations due to the money that's being brought into the system just because of our political views and our political thoughts of, oh, well, this is putting debt into the United States, and we don't think that this is a good
reason to be in debt. I
100% don't. I don't understand why someone would think children and our youth isn't a good reason to be in debt. These children, no matter what, need help. They need food. They need shelter. They need people that want to take care of them.
I think that we can work
through the steps of making a policy and working with
how today is,
like with social media, and get words out there, get numbers out there, and just work with how today is, getting information and making it hard for
the policy to be dropped and declined.
I think within just the pandemic, we saw that families,
the original policy for
the pandemic, they gave us
less money
to help with families, and even just gave
child welfare
system less money to help within that time, helping so many homeless children and families.
There's only lack of money, and
the original number was much higher than what actually came out within the bill. I think that's a good way of saying it, just as within the few months that we've, as of from just this present day that I am making this, is a good picture of
where the money's going. I'm
not sure, but I do feel like that my solution could help get the word out, at least the bare minimum of my solution, and what I realistically could do of just how social media works nowadays.